You were the head of PINWAR, a cross-border organization at a time when the United States was still recovering from the September 11th terrorist attacks. Canada helped the US in so many ways, like other close allies. But fast forward to 2025, and we're now on the cusp of a trade war. What are your thoughts looking back then and looking now?
Uh, it's amazing how the political dynamic can change, and things that were upside, the right side up can become right side down. The notion that the United States would be deliberately trying to cut itself off from the rest of the world, and in particular its closest allies, is something I don't think we could ever have imagined after 2001. And we were concerned about the extra security at the border. You will maybe remember long lineups of cargo trucks, commercial vehicles trying to get southbound, backing up sometimes for more than a kilometer at our border crossings in the lower mainland in British Columbia, and just adding cost and expense and frustration all the way around, interrupting that very vital two-way trade flow. So our message at that time, um, and I don't think I'm the one that dreamed it up, but it was one that I used a lot in my meetings with U.S. legislators, was don't let Osama bin Laden and the terrorists succeed beyond their wildest dreams by permanently disrupting our trade relationship and our personal relationship between Canada and the U.S. That is an outcome that Osama bin Laden would have been just absolutely delighted to see, that long time thickening of the border costing billions of dollars in lost productivity and causing hard feelings between the world's closest trading partners, um, and strategic partners. So that message seemed to really resonate and landed well with legislators in the Pacific Northwest. I would go to the various state capitals at least once a year and speak to the various caucuses in both the House and the Senate, because most of their state legislatures are bicameral. They have two bodies. Um, and that would be Washington State, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, and Alaska. And, from in most cases, the legislators said, yeah, you're right. Let's not give him the win. And that was kind of a counter argument, especially in a place like Montana, where they did have protectionist tendencies around forestry and agriculture. And I think that got their attention. So now fast forward, and you have an administration now in the United States that's talking about deliberately, intentionally disrupting that close economic relationship. Not as collateral damage to trying to increase security like what happened 2000 after 2001, but deliberately trying to disrupt that. And it's just something I don't think any of us would have contemplated on either side of the border in 2001, 2, and 3, when we were trying to find ways to increase security, but not adversely impact what we call the legitimate flow of trade and travel. Um, in other words, safe and secure, non-threatening trade and travel. So yeah, it's just amazing how it's an upside down world. And in our discussion just before we went online, um, you mentioned China and Russia to me, and it gave me a thought, which is, today, Osama bin Laden's not around, but China and Russia are watching this, and I would suggest North Korea also. They must be absolutely delighted at the prospect of the United States antagonizing its closest allies and, almost deliberately trying to lessen its relations with its closest strategic and military and economic allies. That it would be an outcome that Russia and China and North Korea could only have prayed for.